So you want to start off with just kind of a thumbnail on the business and
Oh, well, on you. I mean, what brought you to Rocket?
well,
Are you the founder?
yeah, founder. I've got a business partner, and so we started the business back in 2012. So we started the business just to get at to solve a problem in the industry, how spiritware was delivered. Typically spiritware is delivered, some earnest parent volunteer will put together an order form, go pass it out, gather all the orders, place an order with some supplier, get things printed, and then distribute them. But being able to take there was really two things drove our decision. One is it was such a fragmented supply and distribution of spiritware to the end user that if you could leverage technology by using online merchandising and be able to, this is probably the most important thing, be able to provide your customer with a lot of choice and enable them to purchase one piece at a time, no minimums, and have it delivered directly to their home very quickly. We say, hey, Amazon has really conditioned the American consumer that you go search for what you're looking for, dump it in your cart, pay for it, and then have it show up laying against your front door, your garage door in about 5 days or 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, in some cases. So that's really what drove us to, start this business, be able to serve the spiritware market in a different way and be able to leverage technology. You have to leverage technology in that process. You got to be able to print one piece at a time, embroider one piece at a time, and be in close proximity to the supplier so that you can get your hands on those undecorated blank items very quickly, because we have zero inventory.
I see.
So we don't try to guess what those preferences are going to be. We're located right down the street from a 1 million square foot warehouse. And when we place an order with them, that order is ready within 2 hours. We can decorate it and then get it out the door.
Wow. All right. That's pretty. When did you folks establish the business?
Back in 2012.
What sort of, for you, what sort of ups and downs have you? Well, we know of COVID, of course.
Yeah. COVID, interestingly enough, we didn't know what was going to happen. Like most folks, anybody, whether you owned a business, worked in a business, you didn't know what it was going to do to your life when everything just kind of came screeching to a halt. But what we found was that people were, since they couldn't get at it, actually helped elevate our sales. Actually, COVID did, because more people were shopping online from home, and it was the safe way to purchase things. And it, quite frankly, it's just easier. I think it helped our business. It helped expose our model to people that were used to the traditional model. Spiritware never stopped. School spirit never stopped, and during COVID never stopped. But what stopped is the human interaction and being able to distribute spiritware and those things, and bookstores at schools, they were all closed, so that helped our business. But aside from that, the challenges in our business was reach, and anybody that touched our platform, we wanted to have the ability to reach back out to them. And that's kind of where, Ryzeo came into play. They helped us initially put together an abandonment strategy, execute, three different types. It was cart abandonment, a browse abandonment. Somebody was on a particular, looking at a particular item, they were able to, mechanize the reach back out to the customer with an abandonment email and say, hey, you forgot this, or hey, you were looking at this. And also capture on the very front end, the first time somebody came to our site, they were able to just, throw up a light box and, hey, give us your email and we'll give you a discount, that kind of thing. And that was pretty important to us.
So that all started at the beginning of COVID?
No.
Oh.
No, that was probably, I think we started back with them, maybe, I want to say we've been with them 3 or 4 years now. We started out we didn't have those tools in place initially. We do now. We use MailChimp, since the very beginning, and started talking to, Ryzeo about that as well. We migrated over all our email databases and such, and we just have it all under anything to do with email and touching that particular customer touch point. It's all with Ryzeo or StreamSend. Ryzeo, it's Ryzeo.
Was there like a moment when you said, we have just got to fix this problem, that you just even knew. Did you know there was an abandonment problem, or did you just
Y-
wonder what the heck is going on here?
Well, the data for us was based on the number of that is basically just the traffic, that would come to the site. You had folks coming in through paid pay-per-click advertising, and you also had folks coming in through generic search, and they would land on the site. But we would see those numbers grow, but there was no, when you go down through that funnel, as you have so many visitors, you have 100,000 visitors, but you end up with a 1% conversion rate.
I do know. Yeah.
Yeah. So you say, well, all right, well, what's happening to the rest of those folks? That's growing every year. Those traffic numbers, how do we get after them? That's how we ended up there.
So you just Googled cart abandonment or whatever, and
No, I've had that experience with anybody who shops online. You get those emails that just show up 30 minutes after you're browsing and says, hey, you forgot something. Here's 20% off if you buy it right now. And I honestly can't remember exactly how we were basically looking around. I can't remember if I found those guys or actually somebody sent me an email. I can't even remember, to be quite frank with you.
yeah. Well, lots happened since then.
Oh yeah, and it was great, and I was all on board right away once I started talking to the folks at StreamSend or Ryzeo. So
Yeah, is there any one particular challenge you had that you'd like to highlight, seen highlighted in a write up? The case study will only be about 500-700 words. You'll get to see it before it goes to print, as it were.
yeah,
But is there
I
just
think
like
that
one thing we can hone on?
I think there, yeah, and I kind of feel like it's two things. When I look at the and actually I have so I'll pop this email. This is just for this is 1 week. So if I come back here, I'll just share my screen briefly, if that's all right.
All right, yeah.
This is just 1 week. If you look at there's the new prospects, there's the
Browsing,
shoppers that were browsing. Browse abandonment was pretty important. We converted 89 orders last week just from browse abandonment. If you look at, so the that's total email recipients. But if you look at the ROI, our weekly break even, it's just based on, what we pay for the service. You can see that ROI is just tremendous.
Yeah.
And so I'd encourage you to look at that data and compile it all, have Russell help you compile it, I guess, for, a year or whatever. I think you'll be pretty surprised. There's two things that come to mind to focus on. One is when we saw all those folks coming to our site, and we had no way of knowing who they were or how to reach back out to them. So there's two components. One was right when you first visited that site, you got presented with a little light box that popped up and it says, hey, enter your email for discounts. We've gathered an awful lot of those emails and they become part of our database. We reach out to those folks on a weekly basis, and that's been very helpful. But the other piece is once they're in there browsing, we send out those abandonment emails. You can see that, that revenue converts day in, day out, and it's very, very important. But they're both really key to us. I wouldn't want to do, if you said pick one or the other, I'd say, man, you have to have them both.
Okay, I see.
So,
as you folks were working together on this, were there any particular bottlenecks or just like catches? Just it didn't help you either in solving the problem or communicating the problem, or them helping you folks?
not that I recollect. It was pretty straightforward. Those guys I think they've run this play out of that playbook a lot. Anybody who's in, the online store business, you better have a good abandonment strategy and partner. And, we made some tweaks along the way, just based on timing of delivery of those type emails. How much time do you let go by? And I'd always defer to them for best practices, and just say, you really got to lean on them for guidance. We don't have all the answers. That's part of the reason why we went with these guys, just their deep technical expertise. They see so many different businesses, in so many different industries that, they've got a sense for. They can help guide and shape your thinking around. I'd just be pulling numbers down out of the air. So, but that was key.
So they handled most, if not all, of the technical end of things. You didn't have to hire anybody to translate techie into business.
No, it's it's very simple. It's like what's important and they were always very clear up front is about what we were going to be paying, and that it was all about the ROI. And, you hear that a lot, that that's how they measure themselves. But these guys, they really do. That's really important and key to them. So they hold themselves accountable to that. They send out weekly report. And, I always read over it every week really quickly, and it's always really good, but absolutely critical. So
That's really great. Great to hear. And in a sense, really, you've already addressed that question of the result, which is, and you've shown me the results, and we've got it recorded, the ROI that you're always happy to see every week, that there is a positive ROI and it's significant.
Yep, absolutely.
Is there anything else beyond the, how shall I say, the visitor management and then the abandonment emails or reminders? Is there anything else from those 2 points that you've worked with them on or intend to work with them on in future?
Just the email, there's a lot of functionality available with the email in terms of, segmentation, and we don't use it as much as we probably should be. They've got, you've got ways to filter and segment who's an active, subscriber, who views your emails repeatedly over the last 30 days, who doesn't view them at all. So there's some things there that I think we haven't taken advantage of yet. So if somebody hasn't, visited, they don't open our emails, or we look at them and we can segment and say, well, they open the emails, but they never buy. Then, you can go back and, let's segment those guys out and let's give them a compelling reason to buy, and let's convert them because they're not buying today for some reason. So there's a lot of things there that are pretty attractive.
Well, that's exciting to know then. The horizons are still open.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.